Thank you.
Yeah, so lots of choices for use, and LibreOffice is a good product. I use that for many years, but it is limiting. Once you get into video production, it's sort of on a sort of a professional level, it's limited, has limited value. So
you use Microsoft Office for video?
I use PowerPoint. PowerPoint's is sort of the cornerstone of a lot of what I do.
Oh, okay. So, and you're saying that the Impress can't do what you need to do in PowerPoint?
No, LibreOffice can't. It just doesn't do the embedding, like Bob said, of the videos, and it doesn't do video in putting. It doesn't embed videos into video editing software. It's not there. And whereas PowerPoint, once you get into the professional level of this stuff, all this stuff's embedded. It all centers around PowerPoint. It really does. Camtasia is built around it. It's all integrated into PowerPoint. A lot of the video editing software is all integrated, and it all uses PowerPoint. PowerPoint is the central focus of it. And there's plugins and add-ins and all sorts of stuff. Plus, the other thing people forget about PowerPoint is there is a massive database of video images, videos, all sorts of, like, huge database that's all part of your license. So while people go to Shutterstock and they go to other Canva and they go to other sources and they think, oh, well, maybe I should sign up for this because I want some great videos to put in my productions. Well, they forget that they've already paid for that in PowerPoint, because that is all included as well. So you have to, so there are some it is really cheap. If you start using the services, the 365 is a really good service.
I discovered something with PowerPoint last night that I didn't realize, that I needed to take a bunch of photographs and make a animated GIF slideshow. And all you have to do is hit export, save as a GIF, and it makes it quickly. I like, it was seconds and it was done. And it was like 8 or 10 good size photographs.
I'm putting the link to our Premiere service in the chat, so I'll put it again a couple of times through the show. But this seemed to help. A lot more people watched it last week when we put these links in. So I'm just going to put this in the chat so everyone can see it.
That's good, because I always found trouble finding a link in the web page.
Yeah, so that's the link, and I'll that should be fine for it.
And it is the same link every week.
No. That's the link to the video. That's the
Premiere. Yeah, but if they go to the channel,
the channel is the same.
They bookmark the channel, it'll be there every week.
That's the same. But the video is a different video.
Yeah.
So
what is your topic for the premiere today?
Well, you're going to find out. You are going to find out soon. Did anyone watch last week's? Did you like any comments? Is anyone using it? I mean, it's if you have any clubs or anything, we're really all ears to listen to what is it helpful? Do you like it? It's
I think I watched it, but I've watched so many things in between that I've forgotten what all I watched.
Yeah. So, well, anyway, it's I try to pick stuff. Some of the stuff that when you go back and look a year ago is very dated, so I don't usually include that, because we want stuff that's sort of timeless and that. But we have a lot. We have over 500 videos now to go as a database. So we want to keep the information forward and use it, because a lot of times these videos take a lot of time to make.
Yeah, so tell me, Ron, where do you find the time?
Listen, we figured out how to make 48 hours each day.
Yeah, there you go. The bottom line is you just get better at it. Like it just, you just after a couple of hundred videos, you get pretty fast at it, and you just learn the software, and it just works out, and it works pretty quick. Plus you need the resources to do the work. So you need the software and so on and so forth. So it, as long as I don't have any hassles, like all of a sudden you get into technology issues, your camera doesn't work, or this doesn't work, or whatever. It is a real challenge. I'm having a lot of fun with my Pocket 2, my DJI Pocket 2 camera, but there's a really steep learning curve to using it effectively. So it is, if anyone's interested in and has one, it is a bit of a challenge. You need to put a lot of time and effort into that one. But
What is it exactly?
It's a gimbaled camera. It's a small gimbaled camera, and it's made by a company called DJI. They do the drones. Most of the drones in the world sold are made with DJI, and they have a little gimbaled camera on there, and they made this into a portable camera with a handle on it, and you can use it, and it works very well. You can shoot in 4K, but it's there's a lot of buttons to push. Go ahead, Steve.
Those smartwatches, when they come out with them that can measure glucose, is it going to measure blood glucose or interstitial glucose?
Blood glucose. Well,
really?
Well, it's measuring it through a light sensor through the skin. So I mean, but the result of what they're going to measure, it will be a blood glucose level.
So it'll be better than the Dexcom sensors then.
Absolutely.
My Dexcom is so far out most of the time. It drives me nuts. I mean, wakes you up in the middle of the night at 4 o'clock in the morning saying it's 2 and it's extreme low and all this crap. I do a blood glucose test on it and it's 9.8. I mean, I get such ridiculous spreads from one to the other. It's not even funny.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the technology's done. The contracts were sent out for to produce the sensors. The question is, when will someone bite and go ahead with it? And I think the answer to that question is probably a little more complicated than we think. And Apple likes to sell watches each year, and they like to bring out their new watch and so on and so forth. But once you get into the regulatory mechanism of trying to make this work, to try and get every country in the world to do the testing, to produce it, to finally get it approved, and then to bring it and to do it again the next year, it's just, maybe I think Apple is probably saying, hey, this is maybe just not so great, because with this, the way we have it now, we can just bring out a new watch each year, and we don't have to worry about all the governments and all the medical people and everybody trying to validate this each year. We can just keep bringing these watches out. And I think that may be the reason why they haven't jumped on this. I'm not sure, but it's coming, it's coming, and it's right. Should be here as soon as someone takes the bait and goes with it.
Okay, do you know how close it'll be to what you actually do with the finger prick?
It should be able, you should, on your watch, you should just look down and it'll tell you exactly what your blood sugar is.
Once it's FDA approved, it has to be accurate. Otherwise, it won't.
Yeah, they won't approve it. They won't
Right.
approve it.
Well, sure be nice to have that with the pricks. I know we all are, but otherwise,
Murray has his hand up.
Go ahead, Murray.
Okay, well, I was just going to make a comment about getting wakened up in the middle of the night. I got woken up in the middle of the night a couple of times this week by spam phone calls.
Oh, there you go.
That ever pain in the neck.
Yeah, my Roomba vacuum woke me up this morning at 3 a.m. It said, please charge me, I'm dying. And I thought, I guess when it came back onto its charging stand, it wasn't quite on. And so at 3 this morning, I thought, is it my watches? Is it Miss A? I have all these devices in the bedroom. I went, who in the world at 3 a.m. is going to say, charge me, And the culprit was my vacuum cleaner. Go ahead, Dorothy.
I was just gonna say to Murray,
That
if he's
sucks.
got Shaw. Do you have Shaw, Murray?
Yes, and I've already got my 30 allowed block calls.
Okay, maybe you'll have to delete one.
I know I'll have to go in and figure out how to
Okay.
delete them. Yeah,
Okay,
30 is not a very good limit. It's too low because I get 30 calls probably within 2 weeks.
well, I would put the more current ones in and delete the old ones.
Yeah, I know, but I got to go to the website to do that.
Okay,
You can also set so that you don't get disturbed during certain hours.
I'm not sure you can do that on Shaw.
That's your,
Oh, by the way, I've got an announcement. Oh, I should share the picture sometime. I have a new great granddaughter born yesterday morning in Houghton, Michigan.
Congratulations.
congrats.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yes. Very good. Well, it's Valentine's Day today. I hope everyone's going to do something special. I don't see any. Dewey already told us about he's taking Joanne for lunch.
I
It's
ordered
also Monday.
groceries.
It's also Monday. My wife goes bowling on Monday. Doesn't matter what the occasion is.
And
If
we
our
have
anniversary turns out to be on a Monday, too bad.
Too bad.
Yep.
and
And I
our-
could match Murray because I have a new great grandson born just a few days ago.
Well,
And he's
congratulations
a
to you
little
too.
tight.
Good.
This question, speaking about smart watches or portable devices, is there anything that can detect AFib? My wife just got diagnosed with it.
Sure. All the watches, the Galaxy 4 watch, the Fitbit Sense, the Apple Watch, all those Apple, Fitbit, and Galaxy all do that.
Would the Waze do it, do you think?
Pardon me?
No,
Not the Waze.
No.
No.
no. For $30, you won't get that.
I was just gonna say, you buy cheap, you get cheap.
Correct.
You said it. You said it.
You're getting what you paid for.
except for this watch is I like, but it's not a smartwatch. It's just one of those old atomic watches that resets itself to the right time, either the right time or completely wrong time every midnight. And, it's very accurate, but when Radio Shack got bought out by the Source, they put all of them on sale. I bought a few of them for $9. This one actually paid more like $40. But as far as being a watch that's on accurate most of the time, it's great. And you know when it's not from the right time because it'll be hours or days wrong. Then you just have to reset it.
Wise watch is very accurate on time. It just, some of the functions don't, you know.
My watch is a full computer. It's my phone.
Yeah, but I don't wear my phone all the time.
Just before we get started, if anybody is using a video editing software called Canva, C-A-N-V-A, Canva, if you're using the free version, I'd like you to drop me a note at admin@techforsenior.com. Just drop me an email and I'd like to talk to you. It's called Canva, C-A-N-V-A. If you're using it, you'll know. If you're not, don't worry about it. But I'd like you to drop me a line and I'd like to talk to you about it. So, and the best way to get a hold, just fire off. If you have my personal email, that's fine, or just use admin@techforsenior.com and just drop me a line and I'd like to talk to you. 5 minutes left. We have some people, lots of people coming in. That's good. We will be starting the show in about 5 minutes. If you are new here, if you want to just quickly put up your hand and say hello, that's great. I see pretty much the same faces that everybody comes each week, which is great. That's but we'll be getting the show going in about 5 minutes.
I do see a few names I don't recognize, but that could be my memory going too.
That camera that you mentioned that you put in the middle of your screen, remember what the name of that was called?
Center cam.
Center Cam. Okay.
That's what I'm using.
And who makes that?
Center cam.
Oh, okay.
It was an Indiegogo crowdfunding that I purchased it, but I believe now you can buy them.
Ah, all right.
But it's a pretty good camera. I've been real pleased with it. And as you can tell, it's definitely it does a good picture.
Oh, well, the other thing I was going to say to Jim was I've made a whole bunch of videos on watches and atrial fibrillation. So if you want to have a look at those, I literally done a bunch of those. So that's a common feature in the 3 watches I mentioned. So and soon we'll have the Pixel watch, right? It's coming out so in May. So we will see what they're going to do.
Is that center cam 4K?
I doubt it.
I doubt it too. I don't think so.
Yeah, it doesn't really need to be any more than 1080 for Zoom
That's right.
anyway.
That's
Yeah.
right. I can't imagine why someone would bring that out.
Somebody put the Kickstarter link to it
Yep.
in the chat box. Thanks, Michael.
Yeah, we did just finished a big series, as you know, last week was using your phone as a webcam. So I tested all of them, whether you used a DSLR, a webcam, or your phone, and the results were quite interesting, as you saw in the last 3 weeks. So if you want to go back and look at those videos again, they're certainly there.
Hewie, how much did you pay for it?
I don't recall, to be honest with you. It was so long ago. I ordered it, I think, in the spring. And of course, the crowdfunding takes many, many months for it to finally come to fruition.
Looks like you can pledge between $90 and $150, or you can buy it, if I read this correctly, for $15.
No, you
15.
can't buy it for 15.
I wouldn't think so, but that's the very first thing.
You can
that it
donate
says.
$15 without getting a watch.
That's what it is. Okay. Donate $15.
Big difference.
It's like, buy me a cup of coffee.
Buy us one.
I did.
Must
There
not
were
have been
$15, I'd have
decaf.
about 4 of them on my screen.
James just popped up a site to their actual website now.
Good, thank you. Well, we'll be starting in about a minute. And I'll be muting everyone. And then we'll just click on the unmute if you need to.
The Indiegogo one is finished now.
Good morning. Tech for Senior, episode 99. It is February the 14th, Valentine's Day. We have 80 people in the audience today. Thank you for coming. We do appreciate you. Of course, your enthusiasm is what keeps us going. We also have a number of people over on our YouTube channel. As you know, this show is streamed. Not only this is a Zoom meeting, and it is streamed over to YouTube. Unlike our Thursday show, which we have two shows, we have our Thursday show called Tech for Senior Live, which is not a Zoom meeting. So all of you people who come to see the show on Thursday in the Zoom meeting, well, you're lonely because there's nobody here. We stream it off of StreamYard, and it goes directly to Facebook or YouTube. So it's a little bit different on Thursday. We also have a podcast. Yes, we even have a podcast, and we podcast our Thursday show out. So please, you should be able to hear us every day of the week, if you want. That will be, so that's how it all works. And we want to welcome you here today. It's Valentine's Day, so hopefully everyone is going to do something with their loved one. We talked a little bit about that in the pre-show. And those of you, of course, I guess you're licking your wounds, those people with the Super Bowl yesterday. I mean, I guess there would be the pluses and the negatives there. There'd be the happy people and the sad people, but it was a very good game. It's sort of a nail biter, eh? It's nice when they have a great game like that. So we have a big show for you today. My gosh, each week it gets bigger. We're going to have to, and so we have for the premiere service today, and I put the link in the show notes and or in the chat, and I'll put it again later on. But we have it's a really good one today. We have, of course, Dewey Kloos is talking on 5G. He's going to explain 5G. We have Hewie is going to do Windows 10 tips and tricks. And of course, we have Bob, who is giving us a talk on LastPass and how to export your data from LastPass. So that will be coming at 1:30. And that is a free. It's we call it a premiere service that comes on at 1:30. And I put the link in the show notes for you.
And that's half past the second hour.
2:30. That's right. Exactly. Well, I didn't want to say 9. I didn't want to say 10:30 because then Bob gives me a hard time and says, no, it's not 10:30. So I always like to say 1:30. Anyway, that's good. So listen, good news. We had just about where I thought we would be. We're at 2/3 of our fundraising. We want to keep Tech for Senior free. We want to just get over this fundraising month that we have and get to our goal. And thank you so much for everyone who's contributed. And I don't have any doubt that we're going to get it done. We only need, we've got about 3/4 of the way there now. And then I can stop talking about it and we can have more fun and keep talking about technology. But I want to thank the people who gave generously last week. George, and now it depends on how you put your name into the Ko-fi fund when you register it, but hopefully all these names are correct. Thank you so much to George Harding, Gerald Smith, Rolando Thorburn, the Glenora Seniors Computer Club with Anne Marie, Jonathan, Susan, Brad, Rob, and of course Detlef. All have contributed. Thank you so much, everyone. And I apologize if I've missed anybody or haven't got the right names, but that's the list I have today. So thank you so much. We're close. We're really close. We just got to pay the bills, and so we just have another 25% to go. So if you are planning on doing a donation, please get it done, and then we can wrap it up and have another great year, which of course we'll be moving into season 3, right, Hewie? Where's Hewie?
He's here. Yeah, that's
season 3, right?
We only got a few more weeks, and we have
one more
completed
week.
2 years.
Yeah, this is episode 99. one more, and we are at 100. So we're not quite there. I guess it'll be in March. Like, what did we start at the end of
It
March?
was March, yeah.
Yeah, Mark. Yeah, so it'll be the end of March. So if you don't, everyone knows Hewie, but if you are new here, Hewie is my co-host here. Hewie and I envisioned this 2 years ago, right?
Yep.
We never ever. We
99 weeks ago, we said, we'll do it for a few weeks.
Yeah.
And then we'll see what we'll do after that.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Yeah. You had a busy week, eh? You did your WinSig this Sunday?
Yeah, I had the Windows SIG yesterday. It actually showed off a program that I discovered at the FETC, the Wakelet, and talked about it a little bit, and then a whole bunch of Windows stuff. We had some really good discussions, and had a good time. Had a nice crowd. I was surprised I had as many as I did on Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah, that's true. They did come out, right? Excellent. And then, of course, which someone who started with us back in day one, of course, is Bob Gustisha. Bob's here today, and you weren't here. We missed you last week.
You did?
Was it last week or the week before?
The week before that.
Oh, the week before. Then we didn't
Yes.
miss you last week. Then we didn't
No,
miss you last
I was
week.
there last week.
There you go. There
The
you go.
short-term memory is the first to go.
It is. It is. It is. Oh, gee.
Wait till you get to be my age.
So how'd your week go? Hey, you got a new camera coming.
Yeah, hopefully tomorrow, if they're right. But then sometimes they said it'll be there tomorrow, and it meant next week.
Right. You're going to beat Bill James for gadgets. You're going to, this is, I thought after you got your new Pixel phone, you were going to lay low for a while.
Well, this one here is because I've been buying all those things. Those 2% add up on the credit card. So this is the 2% purchase. So it's not really added money coming out. It's money that was earned from spending all the other stuff.
All right. And then, of course, Ray, you had a busy week too, didn't you?
Well, a lot going on, but yesterday was kind of special. Everybody that enjoys football, of course, was watching the Super Bowl. And my grandson, when he was, I guess, 10 or 11 years old, we started watching it together and have made it the business to watch it every year. Fortunately, he lives in Arizona, so he drove up. So he's 35 now, and we've watched it every year since then together.
There you go. That's great memories. That's great. And we have Dewey back. So we missed you, Dewey. So it's nice to see Dewey back. He does have a segment for us today. Thank you for doing that today. Tell me how nice it is in Arizona.
Oh, it's absolutely gorgeous today. I think it's going to be in the lower about 82, 83 or so. We've had wonderful weather.
Right. So listen, if you need some oranges, go by my old place and you can pick all the oranges you want.
Oh, we have an absolutely bumper crop ourselves this year. We're just oranges galore.
All right. There you go. There you go. And of course, the famous guy, Bill James. We're going to be talking a lot about Bill James today. Bill James needs no introduction. And in fact, he is going to be on our Thursday show as our guest this coming Thursday on Tech for Senior Live. And he's going to have lots of interesting things to talk about. He's also going to give us a Windows tip today. And he just may be in the movies. You never know what we're going to see later on. It could be something interesting going on here. So Bill, did you have a short one word or less? Because you're going to come on soon and we got to get on with the show.
I just say hello, everyone. Glad to be here.
All right. Bob, are you ready to take away?
I think so.
All right.
Here is the Avast Security News Roundup for the week ending February 11th, 2022. Health sites share user info with Facebook. A recent study by Duke University and patient privacy group Light Collective found that several genetic testing and digital medicine companies have shared their user information with Facebook to enable ad targeting. 10 patient advocates active in the cancer support community downloaded and analyzed their data from Facebook's Off Facebook Activity feature, a record of user information that third parties have shared with the social media giant. Among retail and media sites, researchers were shocked to discover that certain health sites were also sharing user info. Most users would be shocked to find out the kind of information being shared around not only health-related sites, but the ad industry in general, commented Avast security evangelist Louis Carones. We are talking about a multi-billion-dollar business where there is a clear benefit to fine-tuning ads. That's why privacy must be in the center of our concerns. We need to be and feel free to enjoy our digital lives safely. For more on this story, originally published in Wired, see Ars Technica. Meta clarifies Facebook comment about leaving Europe. After making what seemed to be a veiled threat to cease operations in Europe if a transatlantic deal were not put into place that would allow Facebook to transfer data from the EU to the US, Meta Europe Public Policy VP Marcus Reinisch issued a clarification on the statement saying the company is absolutely not threatening to leave Europe. He added, "We want to see the fundamental rights of EU users protected, and we want the Internet to continue to operate as it was intended, without friction, in compliance with applicable laws, but not confined by national borders." For more, read the story on ZDNet. North Korea attacks South Korea with X-Rat. In an ongoing series of cyber attacks that began on January 24th, North Korean state-sponsored hacking group Kemsuki, also known as TA-406, is using X-Rat malware in targeted attacks against South Korean entities. X-Rat is a remote access Trojan with a range of hacking tools, including keylogging, remote shell, file manager actions, reversed HTTPS proxy, AES 128 communications, and automated social engineering. Kemsuki loaded the X-Rat with an evolved forum of group's signature Gold Dragon backdoor, now with added features such as an exfiltration of basic system information. To read more on this, see Bleeping Computer. Port of Los Angeles opens Cyber Resilience Center. North America's largest seaport, the Port of Los Angeles, opened its new Cyber Resilience Center, a cybersecurity hub operated by IBM under a 3-year, $6.8 million contract. According to Security Week, the Cyber Resilience Center is a community cyber defense solution created to improve the cybersecurity readiness of the port and enhance threat sharing and recovery capabilities among supply chain stakeholders. The Port of Los Angeles is setting a new industry standard with a first-of-its-kind initiative to increase cyber readiness across the maritime community, said Christopher McCurdy, General Manager of IBM Security Services. iOS 15 bug allows unauthorized Siri recordings. Apple has identified and fixed a bug in iOS 15 that may record some users' interactions with Siri, whether or not they had opted out of the improved Siri and diction function, which gives Apple permission to record, store, and review user conversations with Siri. Apple spokesperson Catherine Franklin told The Verge, with iOS 15.2, we turned off the improved Siri and diction settings for many Siri users while we fixed a bug introduced in iOS 15. This bug inadvertently enabled the settings for a small portion of devices. Since identifying the bug, we stopped reviewing and are deleting audio received from all affected devices. Fake Windows 11 upgrade installers infect you with Redline malware. Threat actors have started distributing fake Windows 11 upgrade installers to users of Windows 10, tricking them into downloading and executing Redline Stealer malware. The timing of the attack coincides with the moment that Microsoft announced Windows 11's broad deployment phase, so the attackers were well prepared for this move and waited for the right moment to maximize their operation's success. Redline Stealer is currently the most widely deployed password, browser cookies, credit card, and cryptocurrency wallet info grabber, so its infections can have dire consequences for the victims. For more details on this, see Bleeping Computer. This week's must-read on the Avast blog. No one ever wants to plan for a breakup, but let's be real, breakups happen. And these days, as we spend so much time online, an IRL breakup needs to be accompanied by a digital breakup. Read the article by following the link listed below. And that wraps up this week's Avast Security News Roundup. Stay safe, stay secure, and I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Bob. That was great. Bad guys are at work again, I see.
They don't quit.
All right. Now, Bill James is going to give us some Windows tips. Bill, are you are going to impart your knowledge on us?
I'm ready. Thank you. Good morning. Edge browser secrets. These are 6 browser secrets you might want to know. Using collections, save your Edge tabs and collections, Microsoft Edge for Linux on your Chromebook, pin websites to the taskbar, import settings and tabs from Google Chrome, change the font size in the immersive reader. Collections is Microsoft's Edge, helps you keep track of your ideas on the web, whether you're shopping, planning a trip, collecting notes for research or lesson plans, or just want to pick up where you left off the last time you were browsing the internet. Collections syncs across your signed in with your Microsoft account devices. So if you use Microsoft Edge on multiple devices, your collections will always be up to date on all of them. Microsoft Edge is a multi-platform app available for Android and Apple mobile devices and Apple Chromebook and Linux desktops. If you want to start a collection on your computer, what you do is click on the 3 dots, the right-hand corner of your Edge menu. Then you select Collections to start a new collection. To change the title of the collection, select it at the top of the collection pane. And when you're ready to start adding content to your collection, you can do this in several ways. You can select Add Current Page to save an entire web page to collection. Select and drag an image into collection. Select or drag a link or highlight text into the collection. You also can quickly save all your Edge browser tabs and reopen them using collections. To save your tabs to a collection, simply right-click on the tab and select Add All Tabs to a new collection. Tabs in your active window will be added to a new collection with the option to rename it. To reopen those tabs, right-click on the collection, select either to open the items in the current window or new window or an in private window. I know most Chromebook users stick with Chrome for their browser choice. After all, it's the default browser and interface on Chromebook. But for some folks, like alternate browsers, to use Microsoft Edge for Linux on your Chromebook, you'll obviously need to have Linux enabled. To do this, go to Settings in the Chrome OS and look for Developers menu under Advanced. Once Linux is enabled on your Chromebook, navigate to this link on your Chromebook. I'll place this in the chat box. You'll want to scroll down below the Edge downloads for Windows, Mac OS, Android, and iOS. There you will see an option for Linux. I've highlighted the one you will want to click, which is the .deb for installation package. Here's a screenshot of that page. You'll find different versions of Edge for the various devices, but then if you scroll down to the very bottom, you shall see Microsoft Edge is now available on Linux. Download for Linux, Deb, Linux, RPM. Once that completes, you should have an Edge icon in your Chrome OS launcher, and you've got Microsoft Edge on a Chromebook. Pinning websites to the taskbar for quick access. The taskbar pinning wizard helps you pin your favorite sites to the taskbar. The pinning wizard suggests up to 6 sites to pin based on your browsing history. If there is not enough browsing history to offer personalized suggestions, you'll get suggestions for popular sites instead. To do this, open the settings and more, the 3 dots menu, choose more tools, and then launch taskbar pinning wizard. If you want to import settings and tabs from Google Chrome to Microsoft Edge, to do this, to import from Chrome, start by opening settings and more menu, the 3 dots again, and then choose settings. In profiles, choose import browser data under your currently active profile. Once the dialog box appears, choose Google Chrome under import from, and then check or uncheck the boxes for each data type according to what you want to import. The 2 new options are at the bottom of the list, and they are settings and open tabs. Choose import to start the import process. If you choose to import tabs, all your open tabs from Chrome will be added to Microsoft Edge, and those that were pinned in Chrome will be pinned in Microsoft Edge. If you choose to import settings, the imported settings will be immediately applied. Here's a screenshot of this. This is my profile, and here is where you select import browser data. You'll get this dialog box, and then you'll want to do the drop-down arrow to Google Chrome. And then once you get that, you'll see this dialog box, and here's the check marks that you can check of which items you want to be imported into Chrome. If you use the reading facility in Edge, which is called the Immersive Reader, you can now change the fonts in the Microsoft Edge. Microsoft continues improving Immersive Reader in the browser with new features and capabilities. This latest update comes with an additional customization option to change the default font. Now you can select from 3 fonts: Calibri, Sitka, and Comic Sans. To change the font, you can follow these steps. Open any web page that is eligible for Immersive Reader. And as you can see, it's the little book that's to the right of your address bar. And then you click the text preferences. Find the font section in the new pop-up, select one you like most. The browser will apply changes immediately with no reload page. And here's a screenshot of that. And also, as you notice, you can change the size of the font, as I said earlier. And then here's the new fonts that you can select from. And that completes our Windows tip today. I'm Bill James. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. And you're right on time. You timed that perfectly. How many times did you practice that?
Oh, not quite enough.
You're right on time. Perfect. Great. Good stuff. All right. Yes. Thank you so much for doing that. And I know there's a lot of information there. So people, of course, this show is available later on today, and you can replay it. And I'll have in the chat, I'll have in the description timestamp, so you can click and go right to your section, and so you can replay it, because I'm sure a lot of people want to come back and listen to it. All right, Dewey has some router information for us today, and let me just share my screen, and we will get this going.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Dewey, and my Tech Talk topic for today is a router journey from 802.11 AC to Wi-Fi 6E. A year ago, I devoted part of a Tech Talk to problems with my then 4-year-old Linksys AC 1900 802.11 AC dual band router at our place here at Silver Ridge in Mesa. With the help of a Linksys tech service guy and a firmware update, this $150 router came back to life. Seemed to work pretty good. Last summer, back in Minnesota, I bought a new Grace Mondo Elite Internet radio, which allows me to listen to my favorite radio stations from Minnesota, Arizona, or wherever using the internet. It was only $139, and it worked well using our Wi-Fi at our Minnesota home. But when I set it up to use the Wi-Fi from my Linksys AC 1900 router here at Silver Ridge, this new internet radio constantly had problems. It frequently stopped playing and would need rebooting to work well again. I noticed that if I rebooted my Linksys router, the radio would work okay for a day or two and then revert to being troublesome. That was indeed a clue that maybe the router, my Linksys AC 1900, was the problem. After researching Wi-Fi 6 routers for our tin shack with lean-to here at Silver Ridge, I bought a TP-Link Archer AX3000 802.11 AX type router. It was $122 with Amazon Prime. Installation was mostly straightforward, and I was super pleased that my Grace Internet radio was again working perfectly all the time, along with all my other connected devices. I said installation was mostly straightforward. Well, my only sticking point was which network encryption standard to use. I simply put off picking the standard until I'd found time to learn more about it. Didn't get around to it for a while. My answer came last week in the form of an article at howtogeek.com titled, "What's the best Wi-Fi encryption to use in 2022?" Writer Benj Edwards states flatly that as of February 2022, the best Wi-Fi security encryption standard is called Wi-Fi Protected Access version 3, or WPA3 for short. The Wi-Fi Alliance introduced it several years ago, and there are several versions. WPA3 is the most common. It's designed for individual and home Wi-Fi users. You're allowed to pick your own password, even if it isn't very secure. Other versions are designed for enterprise users. Since WPA encryption is still moderately new, you may have some older devices that don't support WPA3 encryption. If that's the case, you might consider using WPA2 instead. Though it's way less secure than WPA3, it's still better than earlier standards. Or if your older router doesn't have WPA3 encryption, it's a good reason to buy a new router. You also appreciate the faster speeds available with Wi-Fi 6, which is really the way to go. It just occurred to me that not long ago, I would refer to router standards as 802.11 AC or 802.11 AX. And now I'm talking about Wi-Fi 6 and even about Wi-Fi 6E. So what is going on? In an article at TheVerge.com several years ago, Jake Kastronakis explained that previously Wi-Fi generation were referred to by a weird naming scheme that required you to understand that 802.11 AX was faster than 802.11 AC, and 802.11 AC was faster than 802.11 N, and so forth. To fix that, several years ago, the Wi-Fi Alliance, golly, we're hearing about them again. Maybe that's a tech talk in the future. Anyway, several years back, the Wi-Fi Alliance decided to rename Wi-Fi generations with simple version numbers. Consequently, the then current 802.11 AC turned into Wi-Fi 5, and 802.11 AX became Wi-Fi 6 and Wi-Fi 6E. So what is Wi-Fi 6E? Depending on who's defining it, the E stands for expanded or extended or extend one and so forth. This diagram illustrates the basic difference between Wi-Fi 6 and Wi-Fi 6E. They're both 6th generation. Wi-Fi 6 is 2.4 and 5 gigahertz only. Wi-Fi 6E, even though it doesn't show it, is also 2.4 plus 5 gigahertz, but also includes an extension to the 6 gigahertz band. That is what is new with Wi-Fi 6E. To better understand Wi-Fi 6E, I found a very recent article at wired.com titled, "What is Wi-Fi 6E and Do I Need It?" Author Simon Hill notes that we collectively stream more movies and TV shows, play more online games, and make more video calls than ever before. All this activity puts a serious strain on our Wi-Fi networks. Now, Wi-Fi 6 gave us faster and more reliable access, and Wi-Fi 6E takes another giant step forward, especially regarding connectivity of multiple devices. Wi-Fi 6E is also a description for devices operating in the 6 gigahertz band, which is a new swath of unlicensed spectrum that just became recently available. It's now available in North and South America and nearly 60 other countries around the world. So it's quite widely accepted. Wi-Fi 6E extends the capacity, efficiency, coverage, and performance benefits of Wi-Fi 6 into the 6 gigahertz frequency band. Now, the slower 2.4 gigahertz band has only 11 channels, each just 20 megahertz wide. The 5 gigahertz band has 45 channels, 4 times as many, that can be fused to create 40 megahertz or 80 megahertz wide channels that can transmit much more data at once. Just remember, more bandwidth, more data. More bandwidth can hold more data. Wi-Fi 6E's 6 gigahertz band supports 60 channels, each of which can be up to 160 megahertz wide. Wow, that's not only more channels, but a humongous increase in bandwidth. After all this Wi-Fi 6 hype, I think I need to bring everyone back down to reality. A February 2nd article at cnet.com titled, "Wi-Fi 6E routers are here and we are not ready for them." This article should do the job. The article's author, Chris Monroe, tested 2 of the top Wi-Fi 6E routers currently available, the Netgear Nighthawk RAXE 500 left, which is generally considered very, very good, and also the Asus ROG Rapture GT-AXE 11,000 on the right, which Monroe says looks like a cyborg arachnid sent from the future to kill Spider-Man. Thought that was humorous. He came away with the conclusion that there's little reason for anybody to splurge on one of these 6E routers at this time. The problem is that there are very few devices currently equipped to really take advantage of the 6 gigahertz band. So even if you own a Google 6 or Google 6 Pro or the Samsung S21 Ultra phone or a Lenovo ThinkPad X1 Extreme Gen 4 laptop, which are all able to use the 6 gigahertz band, you won't likely see performance anytime soon that's noticeably better than what you might see with the 5 gigahertz band right now. Monroe says that one could figure that the 5 gigahertz band would actually be preferable for most, if not all, of your regular network traffic. And his article produced charts to prove his point. That's not to say there aren't benefits with Wi-Fi 6E. The 6 gigahertz band hugely widens the bandwidth for many additional channels operating simultaneously. That's the multi-lane expressway analogy that will make Wi-Fi 6E ideal for stadiums, airports, or any place where large numbers of people are connecting simultaneously. In fact, and listen to this sentence, Monroe says perhaps the smartest move for most of us would be to buy a Wi-Fi 6E capable phone rather than a Wi-Fi 6E router. And those are really pricey. Well, that's my Tech Talk story for today. And I am sticking with it because I did a lot of research, learned a lot, and I hope you learned something too. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. And the good Lord willing, I'll be back, I believe, in 2 weeks with another Tech Talk.
Well, thank you, Dewey. That was great. Thanks so much. We look forward to another talk in 2 weeks' time. I think, Hewie, where the heck are you? Oh, there you are. Are you ready to roll?
I certainly am.
The Starlink Report.
This is
the Starlink Report.
The Starlink Report for February 14th, 2022. I'm Hewie Poplock. Please like this video and subscribe to our network. Recent Starlink launches. There was a Starlink launch on January 6th and another on January 18th this year, and then another on February 3rd. But the one on February 3rd, the satellites were affected by a geomagnetic storm, which we're going to talk about in just a moment. And there is another liftoff scheduled for February 20th. Customer deliveries for SpaceX's satellite internet system Starlink have significantly slowed down over the past 3 months. Starlink is now serving over 145,000 users across the globe in 25 countries and regions. The number may sound like a lot, but as CNBC notes, this means that the company only has added around 5,000 new subscribers since early November, when the user count for Starlink reached 140,000. SpaceX was adding about 10,000 subscribers each month prior to November. The delivery slowdown is likely due to ongoing supply chain issues. The global chip shortage was preventing it from fulfilling customer orders. Also, extreme winter weather and COVID staffing issues are impacting FedEx and may result in delivery delays. SpaceX has lost 40 Starlink satellites. 40 Starlink satellites will burn up in a spectacular fireball and get destroyed in the Earth's atmosphere, ending their brief lives after being launched on February 3rd. Each Starlink satellite is roughly the size of a coffee table and weighs 500 pounds. They have a reflective panel to draw solar energy from the sun, and they maneuver in space by firing thrusters powered by krypton gas. The loss is a rare failure for SpaceX, which launches successful missions as a matter of routine. So what went wrong this time, and how will it affect Starlink users? On Thursday, February 3rd, SpaceX's Falcon 9 rocket launched 49 Starlink satellites. Unfortunately, 1 day later, the satellites came into contact with a geomagnetic storm. The storm, caused by explosions on the sun's surface, heated the Earth's upper atmosphere and increased air resistance by up to 50% more than usual. Despite the efforts by SpaceX to maneuver the satellites away from the storm and above the Earth's atmosphere into low Earth orbit, 40 of the satellites failed to overcome the increased air resistance and raise their orbits. They fell back into the Earth's atmosphere, where they will eventually burn up. This unique situation demonstrates the great lengths that Starlink team has gone to ensure the system is on the leading edge of on-orbit debris mitigation, the company added. Although SpaceX has deployed 2,000 Starlink satellites, they are just not enough. The Starlink speeds have slowed down due to too many customers and too few satellites. The more customers Starlink adds, the slower the speeds will get. This will continue to be the case until Starlink launches more satellites to increase capacity. Therefore, losing 40 satellites only makes the problem worse. Although the loss of 40 Starlink satellites is a blow to SpaceX, it's just a small bump in the road and the price of doing business in space. At times, unpredictable, uncontrollable things will happen. Starlink customers will have to wait a little longer for the increased capacity SpaceX is aiming to deliver, along with the millions of new customers waiting patiently for their chance to use the service. SpaceX has revealed a new tier for its Starlink satellite internet service. It's called Starlink Premium and offers speeds between 150 and 500 megabits with 20 to 40 milliseconds of latency, up from 50 to 250 megabits per second with the same latency. Upload speeds are also up from 10 to 20 megabits per second on the standard plan to 20 to 40 megabits per second on the premium. For a performance boost of roughly double, you'll pay 5 times more, however. Starlink Premium will cost $500 a month compared to $99 per month for the standard plan. You'll also pay $2,500 for the antenna and other hardware compared to $499 for the base plan, and will need to leave a $500 deposit to reserve the premium dish. SpaceX said the new service will work better in extreme weather conditions, and customers will get priority 24/7 support. It's likely to be the only high-speed internet option available in many remote places where the extra weatherproofing could come in handy. SpaceX revealed that Starship could be ready to launch Starlink Gen 2 system satellites as early as next month, March. The next generation satellites are part of SpaceX's Starlink constellation that aims to provide high-speed broadband internet service globally. Currently, the Starlink satellites are launched in batches of up to 60 atop a Falcon 9 rocket. The Starship launch vehicle will be capable of deploying up to 400 Starlink satellites during a single launch, which will enable SpaceX to build a constellation at a much faster rate to rapidly expand internet service coverage. This has been
The Starlink Report.
For February 14th, 2022, I'm Hewie Poplock.
There you go. Thank you so much, Hewie. I'm sure there'll be some questions later on about that. All right. Well, let's everyone grab a cup of coffee and let's watch All About Coffee. We'll see what we have here. The Mocha Pot. The Mocha Pot. The Mocha Pot? What the heck is a Mocha Pot? I don't know. Well, those of you who read Tech for Senior newsletter on Tuesday will, of course, know what a Mocha Pot is. You'll also, Bill James, our regular contributor, is the gadget guy. But Bill is more than a gadget guy. Bill, of course, is a very experienced technologist. He teaches Chromebooks, he teaches Windows 10, Windows 11, and knows a lot about gadgets. So he writes weekly columns. And if you haven't subscribed to our newsletter, you should. You can come over to Tech for Senior, just over here, and I'll show you. And you can sign up, and we'll send you free of charge that newsletter twice a week. It comes out on Tuesdays and Saturdays. And Saturdays it actually has the agenda for the Monday show. But don't peek, because we don't want you to not come if you don't see anything interesting, because we always have something interesting for you. Yes. So there are many ways of making espresso coffee. But Rill writes in his article, in the year 2000, I went on vacation to Italy. There I was served some of the best tasting coffee I'd ever tasted. The device was known as the Mocha Pot, which is this week's gadget. So you're wondering, what is a Mocha Pot and how does it work? I have a Mocha Pot, which is a fascinating device for brewing coffee. And this article will explain why you should own one and if you are a serious coffee drinker. A good cup of coffee is comparable to a good bottle of wine, and the mocha pot is one of the most traditional methods of making espresso at home. It was invented in Italy and named after the famous port city of Mocha, which is in Yemen, the country that was the first to trade coffee. The invention of this small machine, macchinette in Italian, another name for it, changed the way millions of people drank coffee. All right, this looks like fun. I've got one of the traditional espresso machines, so I'm going to try this. So off to Amazon we go. And yes, they have the mocha pot. Now this is in Canadian prices, so it will be cheaper over on the US side. But let's have a look at this. I can get a 3-cup mocha pot maker for $44.99. Sounds pretty good. But here's where I want you to look down on the right side, and you'll see a red box. And you'll see that you can buy them from the Amazon warehouse cheaper. Now remember what I told you in the past, always look for warehouse deals. Now as we slide down here, we're going to open the box new and used, and there's 51 to choose from, so let's see what we get. All right, this brings us up to the next slide, which shows that we can get one from the Amazon warehouse for $40. So we're going to save some money. Now in actual fact, I forgot to take a screenshot of the one I bought. I was able to get one. It said it was slightly damaged, and I got it for $15 off. But unfortunately, I didn't capture that image. So there are great deals. And when I got it here, I'm going to show you what happened when I opened the box. So always look for warehouse deals, particularly in something like this, which is pretty much indestructible. So let's have a look what happens when I open the box. All right, this is the parcel that arrived from Amazon, and you'll see it's in it's not in a box, but it's in a bag. Now of course I've opened the bag, and we'll have a look here in a minute, but it's not in a box. Usually if Amazon sends you a parcel, it comes in a box, but of course this is because this is from the Amazon warehouse. Now remember, when we ordered this, it was ordered as a damaged open box, but we're saving money. And most of the time when I order something from the warehouse and it says it's been opened, it hasn't. It's the original. But let's have a look and see whatever, because this is just a mocha pot. All right, so now we're opening this, and this is of course the mocha pot that we have. You'll see as I show it to you here, it of course has been opened. So let's see what's inside and see how this looks. All right, so let's open this up on the side here, and we'll see how this looks here. All right, so as we open this now, came wrapped. Here's our instructions. This is the Mocha Express, and this is our mocha pot. It came, of course, wrapped, and of course it said on the top there was damage. So let's open this up, this bag up, and have a look at our mocha pot. And here's our mocha pot. Put the packaging over here, and as you can see, this of course is in a brand new state. There's no damage to it at all, and it is a completely looks like a completely brand new item. So those of you who have not used a mocha pot before, let's just go over how you do this. This makes espresso coffee, so you don't have to have any of those fancy espresso machines. So this, of course, this unscrews, and we have two parts. There's the top part, and then of course this is the bottom part. Now this is where this is a pressure relief valve here. We're just going to take the filter out here, and this is where you put the hot water. So you boil water in a kettle, and it's best if you put hot water in the bottom. You don't have to, but it's better if the water is hot, because then as it infuses into the coffee, it's at a constant temperature. So you boil some water and you fill it up, not too full. You should fill it just below this pressure. This is a pressure relief valve, just below there, and just leave the coffee in there. Now you then take this, our coffee where you put the coffee, and you're going to fill this with ground coffee. It should be medium to fine grind. You don't have to tap it down, just fill it with coffee. And you're going to put it here. And now if you look, and I don't know if you can see this in the, let's see if you can see this in the video, but there's a stem that comes up here, and this stem comes up to the top. Now what happens is this is a reverse of how you normally make coffee. In an espresso machine, you know, the coffee goes in, the steam comes in from down and forces down into a container. Where in this, this base is going to make steam because it's going to sit on the oven. It's going to make steam. The steam is going to come up through the this filter, which you can see has a whole bunch of little holes in it. And as the steam comes up, it's going to come up through and up through this tube at the top, and it's going to pour into here. And this will be the water will go from a steamy condition to a liquid condition as it's come through the coffee, and this is how your mocha pot generates the coffee. So this just basically, this comes back on like this, and now we're ready to take this and we're ready to put it on the stove and make some coffee. Remember to subscribe to our Tuesday newsletter so you can watch Bill James and his gadgets. Remember, when purchasing on Amazon, always look for warehouse deals. And remember to have a great cup of coffee. And also remember to like and subscribe. Till we see you again, it's Ron Brown with Tech for Senior. Have a great day. All right, there we go. Ray, are you ready to roll?
Yes, sir. Why don't you sign off and I'll get it going.
There you go. I will sign off. If you are over on our YouTube feed, thanks for coming. You can pop over. What have we got? We've got room for you over here if you want to come over and participate